Welcome on back. In this one today, we're going to be doing the top 5 easiest Easter eggs in COD Zombies from World at War II Black Ops Cold War. We won't be including the giant, so without a further ado, let's get right into it. Starting off at our number 5 spot, we have Forsaken from Black Ops Cold War. A lot of the steps on this map are really easy to do. The only problem is that there are a lot of steps that you have to do on this map. Most of this Easter egg is just obtaining the Crystal Axe and doing some extra steps like escorting the drone and then the boss fight. There aren't any steps on this map that require a lot of thought, but instead a lot of these steps require a fair amount of skill. The boss fight, for example, although isn't hard, is a boss fight that you can fail if you aren't paying attention. Cold War in general doesn't have hard Easter eggs, and when it comes to Forsaken, it is one of the easier ones. After building the axe, you collect 4 parts, and then you're pretty much off to the boss fight after the escort step. These steps overall are very easy to do and understand. Throughout this Easter egg, you have the Crystal Axe, which is a really reliable wonder weapon, and during the start, you can rack up a ton of points so that you can finish this Easter egg fast and effectively. It can be done in solo or co-op. The more players, the better, because even if one person on your team isn't that good at the game, they can still get by alright with doing this Easter egg. There are some annoying steps like shooting the catalyzed crystals, but overall you shouldn't have too many problems when it comes to doing this Easter egg. Compared to the others in Black Ops Cold War like Mauert or Toten, or even Outbreak's Easter egg, I don't think it's that hard. And that mainly comes down to the other maps just having a much more difficult boss fight or much more annoying and confusing steps like the one on Firebase Z where you have to use a throwable trap to get a certain mimic for a code. When it comes to Forsaken, it is the most straightforward Easter egg to follow in Cold War Zombies, in my opinion. So for that, we're going to be putting it at our number 5 spot. Coming into our number 4 spot, we have D Machine. This map can take a while to complete for the average player, but these steps aren't that difficult. The longest part of this Easter egg is getting all the different variants of the die, which for the most part is pretty easy to do. The big reason as to why I'm putting this map on the list, however, is because of the boss fight. It is the easiest boss fight in COD Zombies, and that's mainly because you can't fail or lose during the process. Instead of fighting a normal boss, you do a lockdown where you have to defend Orlov for a period of time. The easy part is that Orlov doesn't actually die during this step, and instead you're gonna find yourself killing zombies until he's done doing whatever he's doing. There are some other steps during this Easter egg that can be somewhat challenging, like the part where you have to carry the decontamination agent to the bottom of the bunker. But out of the 3 main steps, creating all the die variants is the hardest because it does require a bit of knowledge and skill. But after you're done with that one Easter egg step, the rest of the quest is pretty straightforward and easy. Cold War catered a lot towards the casual audience, and Treyarch's goal for this map was to get as many people to complete it as possible. Not many people in general do Easter eggs in COD Zombies. During Black Ops 4, for example, I think for the longest time, only 5% of players completed the Blood of the Dead Easter egg. So instead of making something fun for the upper 5% of players, Treyarch decided to appeal to the other 95% who would be willing to put in some time in completing a super easy, mediocre quest. Overall, I would put this higher up on the list if it wasn't for that first Easter egg step being somewhat challenging. So instead, we're going to be putting D Machine at our number 4 spot. Moving into our number 3 spot, we have Die Rise. This is one of the easiest Easter eggs solely because of how fast you can complete it. If you have a good team who knows what they're doing and enough money in the bank, you can complete this Easter egg in literally under 10 minutes. The steps aren't too bad, and they don't require a ton of RNG either. The only problems that I do have with this Easter egg are the elevator step and the tile step. The tile step takes a lot of knowledge and is a step that to this day I still don't fully understand. And with the elevator step, it takes a lot of skill from all your teammates in the game. If you aren't lucky, this step can take quite a while to finish and be very frustrating. But when it comes to every other step on this map,
they aren't that bad. There are some fun, easy steps like shooting the balls in the spawn room with 40 bullets of the liquefier. The Easter egg is arguably harder than D Machine because it takes a little bit more knowledge than D Machine, but there aren't any long-lasting steps throughout this Easter egg. Like I said before, if you have a great team who knows what they're doing, this can easily be done and completed under 10 minutes. Unfortunately, I can't put it higher up on the list because of the tile step, so Die Rise is going to be coming in at our number 3 spot. Coming into our number 2 spot, we have Ascension, more specifically the remastered version on Black Ops 3, because there are a lot of things that you need in the box in order to complete this Easter egg, and having Immolation Liquidation can help out a lot. The Black Ops 1 version is still really easy because these steps are pretty straightforward. You don't have to have the most competent team in order to complete this Easter egg too, which is really nice. With other 4-player Easter eggs like Shang and Shadows of Evil, you need a lot of team communication, but with Ascension, all you need is your friend to run around a certain area of the map and hold the interact button at the same time. Once you're done with those steps, you're pretty much almost done with the Easter egg. The only other step that can be a little bit confusing is activating the lunar landers in a certain order, but it's really not that hard of a step as long as one person knows the order, which isn't that hard to remember. You're gonna be just fine. The only reason I can't put this map higher up on the list is because of the very last step, which can be a little bit annoying to set up for and actually do. You and your team have to deal a ton of damage to a white orb using the Thunder Gun, the Ray Gun, and even the Matryoshka dolls. Again, if you're playing on Black Ops 3, you have the advantage of being able to use really powerful weaponry like the Ray Gun Mark II and the Annihilator, which makes this step easier. Overall, this is a really easy and fun Easter egg to do. There wasn't much to it because it was one of the first Easter eggs ever, and I would put it at our number 1 spot, but there is one map that in my opinion is easier to do. And coming into our number 1 spot, we have Call of the Dead. Now, this map is really hard when it comes to getting high rounds, but when it comes to the Easter egg, it is actually really easy. They have 2 different Easter eggs on this map, one being the co-op side and the other being a single player solo side. Both are fun to do, and I'd argue that the solo side is much easier than the co-op. There's only 2 hard steps to this Easter egg. The first one is using explosives on the generators around the map, and the second is getting the VR11. Once you have both of these weapons, you can complete this Easter egg pretty fast. In the end, you are rewarded with the Wonder Waff, which is a very nice reward for how easy the Easter egg is. Not only that, but every time you kill George, instead of getting a death machine, you now get the Wonder Waff, which is a great Easter egg reward all around. Now, the co-op Easter egg is a little bit harder because there are some steps that you have to do a little bit differently, but it still isn't too much of a hassle. The solo Easter egg only has about 4 different types of steps. The first is changing the levers and the wheel at the top. Then for the remainder of this Easter egg, you're throwing grenades and knifing a door. The last step is the only step throughout this Easter egg that can be somewhat difficult. You have to use the VR11 on a zombie and then shoot him with an explosive weapon in order to get the golden rod. When it comes to completing this Easter egg, it can be very easy for most players, and in general, most Black Ops 1 Easter eggs are like this because it was the first game to introduce Easter eggs. Treyarch didn't want them to be too hard to the point where players would never find them, so instead they made a lot of the early versions of the Black Ops 1 Easter eggs really easy to do, like Call of the Dead and Ascension. Overall, this is, in my opinion, the easiest Easter egg to complete when it comes to the solo side at least, and other than that one step, this Easter egg is incredibly easy and deserving of the number 1 spot. Anyways guys, it's going to wrap up this video for today. If you did enjoy, leave a like, subscribe, do all that. Leave your comments down below if you want to see me do any other type of content. Check down the description as well for more zombie related videos, and yeah, I got nothing much else to say, so peace.